Jiminy Cricket addresses the audience as narrator to tell a story of a wish coming true. The story takes place in a village in Italy, where he arrived at the sh. Op of a woodworker and toymaker named Geppetto, who lives with his pets, Figaro the kitten and Cleo the goldfish. Geppetto creates a marionette who he names Pinocchio. Falling asleep, Geppetto wishes on a star for Pinocchio to be a real boy. Late that night, a blue fairy visits the workshop and brings Pinocchio to life, although he remains a puppet. She informs him that if he proves himself brave, truthful, and unselfish, he will become a real boy. When Jiminy reveals himself, the blue fairy assigns him to be Pinocchio's conscience. Geppetto wakes up, and is overjoyed to discover his puppet is alive and will become a real boy. The next morning, on his way to school, Pinocchio is led astray by con artist fox Honest John and his sidekick Gideon the cat. Honest John convinces him to join Stromboli's puppet show. Despite Jiminy's objections, Pinocchio becomes Stromboli's star attraction, but when he tries to go home, Stromboli locks him in a cage and leaves to tour the world with Pinocchio. After Jiminy unsuccessfully tries to free his friend, the blue fairy appears and an anxious Pinocchio lies on what happened, but his nose grows longer and longer. The blue fairy restores his nose and frees him when Pinocchio promises to make amends, but warns him she can no longer help him. Honest John and Gideon are promised money by a mysterious coachman if they can find disobedient boys for him to take to Pleasure Island. Though Honest John and Gideon are frightened by the coachman's implication on what happens to the boys, the former convinces Pinocchio to take a vacation on Pleasure Island after his terrible experience with Stromboli. On the way, Pinocchio befriends Lampwork, a delinquent boy. At Pleasure Island, without rules or authority to enforce their activity, Pinocchio, Lampwork and other boys soon engage in smoking cigars and cigarettes, gambling, vandalism, and getting drunk, much to Jiminy's frustration. Jiminy discovers that the coachman turns the boys into donkeys for their misdeeds and sells them to slave labor in salt mines and circuses. Pinocchio witnesses Lampwork transforming into a donkey, and with Jiminy's help, Pinocchio escapes, partially transformed with donkey ears and a tail. Though they have to abandon Lampwork and the boys in the clutches of the coachman. Returning home, Pinocchio and Jiminy find Geppetto's workshop deserted. They get a letter from the blue fairy in the form of a dove, stating that Geppetto had gone out looking for Pinocchio but was swallowed by Monstro, a huge, vicious ship-eating whale, and is now living in the belly of the beast. Determined to rescue his father, Pinocchio jumps into the sea, accompanied by Jiminy. Pinocchio is soon swallowed by Monstro, where he reunites with Geppetto. Pinocchio devises a scheme to make Monstro sneeze, giving them a chance to escape. The scheme works, but the enraged whale chases them and smashes their raft. Pinocchio selflessly pulls Geppetto to safety in a cave just as Monstro crashes into it and Pinocchio is seemingly killed. Back home, Geppetto, Jiminy, and the pets are heartbroken over the still form of Pinocchio. However, the blue fairy revives Pinocchio and turns him into a real human boy, getting rid of his donkey ears and tail in the process, much to everyone's joy. As the group celebrate, Jiminy steps outside to thank the fairy and is rewarded with a solid gold badge that certifies him as an official conscience.